Oh my gosh, I wonder if I can make it up this hill. Now this is a serious hill. Look at that. Did you all hear that? Got a little air spinning the wheel. You've got a capable little dirt bike here at a decent price and with so many fewer downsides than a gas dirt bike. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got a fun video. We are featuring Wired Off-Road's electric dirt bike conversion kit here from Wired Off-Road. They are a startup company out of Ypsilanti, Michigan, right where DMHQ is, and they have been putting together an electric conversion kit for smaller dirt bikes. So you take a two-stroke dirt bike, this specifically being a Kawasaki KX85, and they yank the motor out, the engine I should say, and swap in an electric motor with a battery. And not only that, but they provide you a kit that if you are mechanically inclined, you can do it all yourself in a matter of just a few days. If you're really handy, they say they can do it within a few hours. So today we're going to be talking to the owners, David and Vincent, whom we have here, founders and CEO, probably one of you. Co-founders, there we go. Wired Off-Road, kind of what the bike is, why you should be interested in it, and then of course we're going to go out and take it for a test ride. I've already done a little bit of riding and it's been a blast. So, David, give us a quick kind of overview, or both of you guys, either one, on why you got into this.
Around 2018, I had just graduated from Michigan State University, and I started working for my family business again. And we're seasonal, so in the winter I was a little bored and was searching around on the internet, and I stumbled upon people doing electric conversions of all sorts of types. Being an avid off-road rider my whole life, I thought, why not convert this old dirt bike I had sitting in my garage? I went through the process, I sourced parts, all that good stuff, and through the entire process, once I hopped on that bike and saw the performance and the realization of where and when I could ride because of that electric drivetrain and it being so quiet and the performance delivery, it was just amazing. I said to myself, well, man, why can't everybody have this? And then I was like, but not everybody knows how to machine and weld and do all this, so I wanted to come up with something simpler. And David has been somewhat of a lifelong friend of mine with a similar educational background, and once he hopped on that first prototype, if you would call it, he was sold. Yeah. And we just started working at it and trying to make this vision come true of a greatly simplified DIY experience to convert dirt bikes to electric for a much more affordable price than buying brand new. So really the idea of this is you're getting the ultimate price to performance package. You're getting the most power, the most performance out of this electric vehicle compared to its cost when you back it against other available options on the market.
Awesome, man. I love it, and I'm all about that as well. Not only repurposing stuff that might have been sitting around with a blown head gasket for the last 4 years in a barn, but also making it better in the meantime while doing that. I'm a big EV enthusiast. Now, admittedly, electric motorcycles haven't sold me quite as much because you're always going for low weight with bikes, low cost, low efficiency, and smaller gasoline motors have been able to do that at a pretty good price. But you guys are beating some of those with this conversion kit because you start at about what, $2,800?
Start at $3,000 for a kit.
Okay.
And
that's shipped?
That's shipped for $3,000.
Okay.
Yeah. And so this, for example, this was a 2005 KX85 we got on Facebook Marketplace, picked it up. It had a bad engine. We got it for $800. And we took the engine out, exhaust system, radiator, everything we don't need. And sold that on eBay. I think we got $400 for it. So net into the frame, $400. And then our kit on top of it, as spec'd out here, it's sitting at $3,800 with the bigger battery. But yeah, you can get into one of these for $4,000 and it's got the performance of, I mean, an OEM brand new.
Yeah, let's talk performance a little bit. So 20 horsepower, a little bit less than the two-stroke motor that this bike would have come with, but you're getting that power right from the get-go, right from stop. You're getting all that torque, and that is quite a bit different from your two-stroke experience.
It is, yeah. Yeah, pretty much flipped.
Yep.
But it's a ton of fun. I mean, it gets down, it'll pop a wheelie like nothing, and yeah, it's a good time.
And you say top speed of about 60, 65 miles per hour?
Yep, depending on terrain.
Yep. Let's talk a little bit about batteries. You offer two options, a 25 amp hour and 42 amp hour.
Correct.
Do you recommend people kind of step up to the 42 amp hour, and what situation should they go with the 25?
So our estimated riding duration or range is on the smaller battery, it's 25 miles of trail riding. So if you're riding street, you're probably going to be a little better. And if you're riding really deep sand, you're going to be a little less. So the small one's 25 miles. This one's 40 miles of range. And we think, personally, the 40 mile range is going to be more popular, just a guess, just because of range anxiety and all that. But most people aren't really covering when they're trail riding that many miles. So you can get a very good afternoon of fun out of 40 miles for sure, and even 25. So
yeah, I would say 25 amp hours, maybe if you're somebody who's really just a backyard rider, you're hopping on for 15 minutes every day, or you're a track rider and you want this thing to be 10 or 12 pounds lighter and have even more weight to performance, then that might be the way for you to go, and you could have two of them and hot swap them.
Yeah, which we demonstrate real quick.
Yeah, let's show. So not only do you have the battery power on here and a decent amount of range, but a hot swappable battery. So if you've got a kid that's doing hours and hours of riding out on the backyard track, right here you pop that out, and this is the larger of the two batteries. This is the 42 amp hour.
That's it. So what David just did is we have a push pin here. You just push that button down and that releases the fender. Rotates, you undo your main power connector, and then there's a simple cotter pin. Once those three things are detached, the battery slides right out.
And then in theory you could have one charged up, ready to go. That slides back in. Clip. Your child's grabbing a Gatorade, fueling themselves up as well, and within that time that it takes them to use the bathroom and grab themselves a juice box, they're out running again for another few hours.
Yep.
That is pretty darn sweet. And not only that, but when they're outside doing laps and laps and laps around the field, they're not making any noise. You're able to sit inside and do your work and not hear a little two-stroke motor buzzing along and have to be gas put in it and everything. I mean, that's arguably quicker than going out and getting a gas can and filling it back up, especially if it's mixed gas and you're dealing with that sort of thing. So,
and we do have a few different charger options. So the standard charger that's included with the price is 6 amp, and so that'll charge this battery to full in about 8 hours. But our quickest charger, which runs on like a 220 volt dryer outlet, that could charge it in like an hour and 15 minutes. So it's a 30 amp charger, so it can make it very fast.
I was looking at some of your specs online, and it seemed like the mid-level 12 amp charger is probably a sweet spot of getting twice the charge speed, but not having to have a 240 volt.
Yeah, the convenience is definitely there with that model. Yeah, good balance between speed of charging and accessibility of a standard outlet.
Yeah. So other than that, this is a Kawasaki KX85. I mean, you're talking the same suspension, same wheel and tire package, brakes, drive chain, I should say, and everything there is ready to go. You don't have to do any of those modifications. You guys obviously have some sweet stickers. Now, are you going to offer the stickers as an option?
Yeah, we're going to offer stickers from our buddy Cole Holly at Volta Supply down in Texas. He did an outstanding job.
So I will go over kind of how everything works when I've got the GoPro mounted.
Okay.
But I'm pretty excited to get on this thing and go for a little ride and talk to you all about the advantages of electric in a package like this. And I should say another advantage, no weight penalty, essentially. I mean, we're talking pounds. compared to this. I mean, if you think of all the things you guys removed in order to install this, you're not that much heavier, especially with the smaller battery option, right?
Right.
It's still about 175 pounds right now with this larger battery.
Yep.
Pretty darn good considering my little street bike that I have out there, but they're only 125, is 250 pounds. And not nearly as powerful as this thing. This is a lot of fun. Wiredoffroad.com to check these out. I'll have the link in the description. And let's put on the helmet and get some riding impressions. So here we are hopping on. Now the suspension is set up a little soft for me, so we're going to keep that in mind. We're also running some very dirt-esque tires, so we're going to run around a little bit here around DMHQ and then cut to some of the off-road section. But some of the basics, you're dealing with an LCD display, which they do say they'd like to move up to TFT at some point for a little bit better viewability. You might be seeing on the camera, it's a little bit tough to see. And this bike is typically designed for younger and smaller riders. So me being a 170-pound adult, yeah, it's not exactly ideal, but I've been playing around. It's still a lot of fun. You can see no clutch, obviously. This thing is just a turn and go situation. This is the battery cutoff. So down here, there's no voltage running in, and you simply turn this all the way around, and then this key kind of turns the bike on. Right now, if I do anything with the throttle, nothing happens. If I turn that, I get a D, and then I've got some life. Over here on the right, you have a light switch. There are no lights, but if you were to put lights in there, then you could have that. Same with those lights there. You have your front brake control on the right side, your foot brake doing the rear, and then a 1, 2, 3 switch. These are power modes, 1 being the slowest, so I can give it full throttle and oh, it'll still get away from you a little bit, but not nearly as much. The 1 is supposed to be decently slow, 2 kind of slow, 3 pretty quick, and then when you want full power, you press the S and it goes into 4, and then you've got full juice and it really goes. Then you have this R button, and what that actually does is reverse. You may have guessed it. If you press and hold the reverse, you get the R, and then you turn the throttle, and this thing backs up. So I can actually back up here, close the door to DMHQ, and then ride away. I tell you what, I love electric vehicles, and I love the peace of them. I mean, can you imagine your child heading out and riding like this? And this is on level 1, so I can go full twist, and I'm really not, it's not getting away from me. I'm doing about 25 miles per hour. Kind of feels like a moped, about that level of power. Still enough to have a little bit of fun, but let's dial it to 2. A little bit more get now. Obviously a ton of ground clearance with this being a dirt bike, so I could hop up on here, onto this curb, come on down. Then you've got 3, that's a healthy amount of power. Gotta start being careful there. If you goose it, give it a little whiskey throttle, you will loop it. Oh my gosh, this thing is fun. And then, of course, you press S, and that front end it's lifting right up. You got your full full power right away. That is so cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's twist around one more time here. Give us a little kind of mini 0 to 30, if you will. That's 37 miles per hour, and I'm fighting to keep the front wheel down. Right. Now I really wish this thing were street legal, but it is not, so I'm going to have to load this up, run it over to the off-road section, and then catch you there. Okay, here we are on the trail, and you guys, I don't think I can express to you how nice it is to ride through trails like this and not be making noise. It's so cool. Not only that, come to a stop for something, Don't have to pull in a clutch. You don't have to worry about stalling it. You don't have to let out the clutch. You just kind of motor along full power. I actually am dialed down into 3 mode right now because I'm not the most veteran off-road rider in the world, and I don't want this thing to get away from me, honestly. Now you might think that sounds silly on a little kid's bike like this, but this is some serious power. I was screwing around here with the Benelli earlier, and it's cool to have something with real dirt presence. You can hear just a little bit of that electric whir. It's not even really a whir, it's more of a kind of a buzz. I'm gonna go back up to 4. I'm a big boy, right? Oh, it's all right there. 4 gives you a little bit more of a snatchiness in the throttle too, whereas 3 kind of smooths it out a little. Ooh, there we go. Right up that hill with ease. Look at this. I'm just saying, ooh, we do not want to be going through that today. So this is totally sandy. Ooh, look at that, spinning up the tire. Oh my gosh, I wonder if I can make it up this hill. Now this is a serious hill. Look at that. That's fun. That's really fun. Now, obviously this thing has a top speed of 60 miles per hour, and you really don't need that in situations like this, but if you're doing more of like a motocross course sort of thing and you're actually a skilled dirt rider, I could see you utilizing that. All y'all are going to be able to hear during this whole video is just me cackling because this thing is so much fun and there's no motor for you to hear. And everything else is just the Kawasaki. I mean, you've got a tried and true little dirt bike platform. Wired off-road, just providing some smoother, more enjoyable, cleaner power. But you've got a capable little dirt bike here at a decent price and with so many fewer downsides than a gas dirt bike. Woo! I want one. I really do. I really do want one. Thing is, I just need a trail to ride it in. Did y'all hear that? Got a little air spinning the wheel. Talk about throttle control. If you want your kids to learn throttle control, you get them an electric dirt bike. Oh yeah, locking it up. Man, riding dirt makes you just a better rider. Now there is some degree of regeneration happening. I need to talk to them about exactly how the regen works. I think it's only from coasting. I don't think there's any extra regen. When I press the brakes, there isn't any extra regen happening. It doesn't feel like. I think I'm just getting mechanical braking, which is fine. That's how you want it. You don't want to be screwing with the blended braking system. Hello birds, don't mind me, I am electric. Oh, I love this so much. This is bringing me back to my youth. What a fun thing. So I have done 5.7 miles. I think that's just since I turned it off and back on. I don't know if that's the whole, that's probably not. Well, let's just see. Let's turn it off. Let's kill the battery. and I'm assuming that tripometer is going to reset. Yep, so it shows me my odo, 357 miles on this bike, and then the trip resets. So I couldn't tell you exactly how far I've ridden, but it's probably been 10 miles or so, and we've got just one bar down on the battery. Now, he did say when the battery gets low, you just kind of got to keep an eye on it, and that's something that I think they should improve. I told them that it should have some sort of almost like a reserve tank like you would have on a gasoline bike with a petcock, where you can run out of fuel, if you will, and then turn it over to reserve and get yourself home. Because when you're riding like this, having fun, you're not looking down at any sort of gauge cluster. You're not monitoring your range or anything. So unless it's going to do something like scream at you, beep real loud when you're getting low, or like I said, kind of do a reserve thing where it dies out and then you can start it back up and kind of put yourself into a limp home mode. If it's not going to do that, then people are going to have a bad time. But fortunately, that's just software. They can figure that out real easy. And I talked to them about what sort of power degradation you're supposed to see when the battery gets low, and they said because of the way they construct their batteries that are actually built here in Michigan, in America, the way they put them together, he said there's very low, what did he say, voltage drop? I'm not a battery expert like Vincent is, but very low voltage sag. He said voltage sag, and that is supposed to make it so even when the battery is down near empty, you still have about 85% of full power, so 15% gap between full charge and nearly empty in terms of how much torque you're getting right there, and it is a lot of torque. About 55 newton meters from the motor, and then of course some multiplication there to talk about how much you're actually getting down at the wheel because of gearing. So let's recap a little bit. You could go to your nearest Kawasaki dealer and buy yourself a 2-stroke KX85, little kid's motorcycle like this. Make sure you've got oil and gasoline and all that gear, and listen to it buzz away and make a little bit more power than this, admittedly, but only at peak RPM, and you got to be shifting, riding it like that and everything. That's going to cost you about $5,000 out the door. I mean, maybe if you got a good relationship with your local Kawasaki dealer, you can do a little better than that. But so you're looking $5,000. Or alternatively, you can pick yourself up a used KX85, even with a blown engine. That's what these guys did. They found one with a blown engine, $800, and they went out and did the whole swap. You can take a weekend of your time. The guys say that all the power. The guys say that it'll take 6 to 10 hours for someone doing it their first time, but they can actually do it in about an hour and a half to 2 hours since they're so intimate with the bike. So if you had a few of them, you definitely get quicker as time went on. So you can do that. Let's just say $1,000 for the bike that you buy, a weekend of your time, and then even if you want to get the larger battery, you want to get the quicker charger, which is what I would do, you're looking $4,000 from them. So for the same price, you're getting something that is so much fun, so peaceful, and so environmentally friendly, if you care about that sort of thing. A lot of dirt bikers may not, but if that's your thing, then that's a perk as well. And for the same price. So I'm convinced. I'm going to ask them to build me one. I want a long-termer. Thank you to Wired Off-Road for letting me ride this thing around, play with their baby, and promote them a little bit here. In the meantime, let's do a little bit more hillage and then wrap this up. I want to do that steep hill one last time. I want to see if I can make it without stopping or putting my feet down. Oh, it's that concrete bit there that keeps tripping me up. All right, now I can't exactly put this thing on the kickstand and walk away because, I was only in 3 that whole time. I forgot. Every time you restart it, you got to press S again to get the top power mode. But thank you all so much to Wired Off-Road for letting me ride. I highly recommend you all go check them out if you're in this sort of market. It's the future. I hate to say it. If you guys, if you're someone not looking to go EV, if you got your reasons for staying gas, I don't know. This is a tough argument. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on, or in this case, ride on.